Hi guys, LCFev here, want this 92 rated Player of the Month Benzema player review. I didn't look too much into this card when it first got released, since he already has a team of the season. However, you do only need an 82 rated squad to complete him, and in return you get this 92 rated card. So even if you don't like him, you can throw him into an SBC, knowing you haven't really wasted any money. Anyway, this is the team I started him in, with Alisson in goal. Mendy, Ogbonna, Maldini and Carvajal in defence. Diaz, Fekir, Carvalho, Bruno Fernandes and Adama Traore in midfield, with Benzema in attack. In game I switched between a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow and a 4-2-3-1, where Benzema always played in the strike position. He's 6'1" with a medium attacking and low defensive work rates, he's right footed and has a 4-star skill moves with a 4-star weak foot. Moving on to his in-game stats, he has 98 attack positioning, 94 finishing, 92 shot power and penalties, 93 volleys and vision, 92 short passing and reactions, 98 ball control, 94 dribbling, and finally 95 composure and heading accuracy. Moving on to the traits page, he has outside the foot shot and team player. So to begin, I'll start with the shooting, which in my opinion is the best thing about the card. Some players like Eusebio and Ronaldo just possess a shot that seems unlike most forwards in this game. I've used plenty of strikers in the past few months that have similar if not better shooting stats to those players, but it just doesn't feel the same. But I felt it with Benzema, putting him up there as one of the most clinical strikers I've used this year. His finishing was great for me and he rarely missed a target no matter what chance he was given. He did well to find the corners of the net or take the shot just out of the reach of the goalkeeper to make it unsavable. His shot power is a massive factor in why his shots are so good, as he can hit the ball past the goalkeeper before he has time to react. It felt like he should be rated at 99, and even then I've used players with 99 shot power that have a weaker shot than this card. Because of his finishing and shot power, his long shots felt better than the 85 stat. Even then, it's not terrible for a card, it's just a lot of strikers at this point in the game already have their shooting stats all in the 90s. However, what I noticed when using this Benzema card is that the kind of striker you want to give the ball to, either inside the box or around the edge of the box, to finish the chance rather than a player you would run into the box with. I did manage to score a couple of volleys with him, and they were great. Even the more difficult type that needing to react quickly or fall at an awkward height, he can adjust quickly and put the ball in the back of the net. I think his 92 reactions, which are boosted to 97, probably help with this. Passing was also a strong point of this card, and it's rated quite high for a striker, which is always a positive. Benzema is perfect at 1-2 passing, and never misplaced the ball in short range situations. Even his long range passing was better than I expected, which could be partly down to the engine chemistry style I put on him, but his vision and curve allow him to pick out the players and pass the ball to them, not only trying to avoid defenders, but also trying to hit my attacker in stride and keep the full momentum. 95 composure means that even under pressure, his passing and shooting remain relatively accurate, and I wouldn't worry about him sending anything off target around defenders. His crossing will do the job if it comes to sending it across the box to an attacker. I would avoid taking free kicks with him, since most people probably have better free kick takers in their team at this point in the game, and Benzema is the sort of player who wants to have in the box for headers or rebounds. In terms of his dribbling, the only standout stat was his actual ball control, which is almost maxed out in his base card and goes up to 99 with engine. He always managed to bring in heavy passes and deflections, and whilst moving on the ball, he never let it get too far away from him, stopping an easy tackle or losing control of the ball. Even when just jogging with him, he always remained in full control of the ball and its movement, and he will sometimes get a little animations around defenders to try and remain in possession of the ball. Being 6'1" with 95 heading accuracy and 82 jumping means that he does win a lot of headers. He manages to challenge a lot of defenders when it comes to winning heads from your goal kick, allowing you to keep possession of the ball in midfield. Although I didn't score any headers with him, I did come very close on a couple of occasions. This is mainly because my go-to formations don't have wingers, and even if I do find myself out wide, most of the time I will try to keep the ball on the ground because of how bad heading is this year. His stamina wasn't as much of an issue as I thought it'd be. 84 at this point of the year isn't the best considering most players have stamina in the 90s. Obviously it would be ideal for this card to have that too, but I didn't notice it holding him back. I did force him to make a lot of runs off the ball, and he still had a decent amount of stamina left at the end of the game, which is good. His strength was just okay in my opinion. If you want to hold people off for a short period of time in a standing position, then I actually thought it was decent. It's when he's moving in possession of the ball where I noticed it wasn't quite as good, and I found him losing battles relatively quickly to defenders. The last positive I have for this card is his 4-star combo. 4-star weak foot allows you to take shots and passes on his left foot, and he should still have a decent amount of power and accuracy behind the ball, which is important for a striker. For some people, this is a must in any attacking or midfield position. His 4-star skill moves means he can do the majority of the skill moves in the game, or to create some space in the box for you to attack into before taking a shot. Now onto the negatives, with the first one being his pace. He didn't seem terrible off the ball, and when he gets going, he can start to keep a bit of a distance between himself and the defender. But most of the time, you won't find that sort of spacing behind the defence, especially this year with tactics like drop back and defenders reaching over 90 pace. It's his speed on the ball which is the real problem. He just feels so slow that you would really struggle to beat multiple defenders without getting caught. Maybe it'd be worth trying to use something like Hunter on him just to give as much of a boost to his pace as possible. The next issue which links with his pace is his dribbling ability. I mentioned before that his ball control was decent, but his actual movement whilst in possession of the ball was awful. It wasn't the fact that he took bad touches, the problem is that for some reason he just slowed right down, especially during the first acceleration phase. This even takes away from his skill moves because he just turns and executes a skill move so slowly that any decent defender can either react to the move or has enough recovery time to try and tackle you again. I don't know why it feels like this since his stats aren't even that bad, and despite the pace difference, are actually better than Ronaldo's gold card. He just didn't feel good at all. The final negative I found with this card was that sometimes his work rates did stop him from making forward type runs. His attack position of 98 does override this a lot in game, but sometimes I did notice he would sit around the edge of the box rather than making runs into it, which isn't great, especially considering how difficult it can be to move with him on the ball. So overall, I'm going to this 92 Player of the Month Benzema, an 8.6 out of 10. Unfortunately, his body type and dribbling just doesn't fit this year's gameplay, which sometimes makes him difficult to play with, especially competitively, where you'll face defenders like Militao, Varane and Ramos pretty much every game. But his shooting is absolutely top class and unlike any player I've personally seen in this sort of price range, which makes him a great finisher inside the box. So with that, my issue is that the people who want to start him in their team might not have the players around him to stop the negatives affecting this card as much. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please have a like and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're requesting future content, then please leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll be sure to reply.